Aw yeah, Rivers here with some cool tech. Today I want to show you the Rikomagic MK802 IV. This is Rikomagic's latest Android mini PC. It's got a Rockchip 3188 quad-core CPU. First, let me show you what comes in the box. You get the Android mini PC itself, the user manual, the power supply, this 6-inch HDMI extension cable which can be used to connect the MK802 IV behind your TV. Now let me tell you a little bit more about the media player itself. It's got the latest Rockchip 3188 quad-core CPU. It comes with 2 gigs of RAM, quad-core Mali 400 MP4 GPU, 8 gigs of flash memory, Wi-Fi 802.11b G and N, Bluetooth 4.0, and Android Jelly Bean 4.11 with an upgrade available to 4.22. Here on the front you've got a full-size HDMI port that can plug directly into the back of your TV or monitor. And here on the back you've got your micro USB power and a full-size USB port used for connecting USB devices. And here on the side you've got a micro SD card slot for cards up to 32 gigabytes, an OTG port for connecting to a PC and updating the MK802 IV, and if you look closely over the ventilation holes you have a recovery mode button used for flashing new ROMs to the MK802 IV. Now let's hook it up and try it out. This is the home screen. This is what you'll see the first time you boot it up. So down here at the bottom you've got your taskbar, and it comes with a hide feature, and it also has auto hide. It's got a power button built onto the taskbar. It's got volume up, volume down. You can view the tasks that are running in the background and close those out if you wish from there. You've got home and back buttons. Over here is the app drawer, which is where your pre-installed programs are, so let's take a look. You've got a couple web browsers, calculator, you've got your downloads, email, photo gallery, basic music player, Google Play, and let's take a look at settings. Over here you've got your Wi-Fi, which works really well for me. It's connected right up, no problems. You got Bluetooth, which works nicely on here. Ethernet, if you have a USB to Ethernet adapter, you can control it from here. Here under HDMI you've got some of your display settings, so this is to zoom the screen in and out. You might need to do that the first time you start it up. And here you can see it's at 1080p, 60 frames a second. Over here you've got an option to put a screen capture button on the taskbar. Next up we've got storage, and you can see here you've got about 2 gigs available for app storage, and the other 4.5 gigs is available for your data. Here's your software information. So right now we're running Android 4.1.1 Jelly Bean. We've got 4.2.2 available, and I'll install that also on here so you can see how it performs in a little bit. Okay, first off I'm going to test this running Android 4.1.1. I went ahead and installed about 70 apps that I use from day to day, and then we'll go ahead and run a few benchmarks on here and see how it performs. By the way, this handles really well. It's nice and fast, and the mouse cursor is really fluid and smooth. So here's a little CPU info for you. It's got a 1.6 gigahertz CPU, 4 cores. It's a Neon device, and here's the rest of the CPU information. Next up is the LinPack, which does a quick benchmark of the CPU just to give you a basic idea of where you're at. So it got about 100, and earlier it got about 120, so it might have been running something in the background when I ran this test. And finally we have Antutu. I ran it earlier, but I got a score of 1474, which is pretty good. I noticed it was a little choppy during some of the graphics rendering, but that actually gets fixed with Android 4.2.2, and I'll show you that in a little bit. I ran a couple other apps on 4.1.1 and everything worked pretty well. YouTube worked excellent. Video looked great. Netflix worked pretty well as well. I even managed to do a little bit of gaming. This is Shadowgun, and I'm using a PlayStation 3 joystick, and it works really well, and it looked great on here too. I'll put a link to it in the video description down below. I went ahead and updated this to Rikomagic's 4.2.2 ROM. It works pretty well, but it's got 1 or 2 bugs. Like for example, the desktop, the icons are slightly off, so you have to either move them too low or too high. I fixed this by installing Go Launcher HD, which I normally do anyways because it's so much easier to use than the stock launcher. Also, Netflix is not working on this ROM. I know that will be fixed soon though. As soon as a firmware update that fixes these issues comes out, I'll put it in the video description down below. Other than those 2 things, the ROM works pretty well. Here you can see that it also comes pre-rooted, which is nice because some of the best apps require root access. Next I ran LinPack, and with this new ROM it got a better score in the 120 range, so much nicer there. And Tutu got a better score as well, over 700 points higher, and the jumping during video rendering disappeared as well. One thing that's really nice to have with your media player is an air mouse remote control like this one. This guy's got about a 30-foot range, so it's got a nice strong signal, and you can do pretty much everything you can do with a mouse on here, plus more. I'll put a link to some of my favorite remotes in the video description down below. Lots of apps work well on here, including the MX Player version of XBMC. Also, Power Amp works really good on here, so you can just have a widget on your desktop and hit play to play music on here. And again, Shadowgun is working fine on 4.22 as well. The Rikomagic MK802 IV is a popular player, so it's going to have its ROMs updated shortly and should fix any bugs that are left in the software. It works great for reading news too. The UI is nice and fast, and the mouse pointer is fluid and smooth. Well, thanks for watching my review of the Rikomagic MK802 IV. I'll put links to the player and everything you saw in the video in the description down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that little like button down there. It really helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to my channel. I update it once a week with new videos, and you'll be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, and as always, aloha.